Okay, so you've mentioned that you worked on ESG levers. Can you explain any two with examples so that we can relate to it?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
You've mentioned that you've worked on analyzed 10 plus ESG levers and then
Yeah.
benchmark the competitors. Can you just give us two examples with how did you analyze it and how was the solution?
Yeah, so basically what I did was I went through 10 companies in various sectors, such as in banking, I took SBI, in automobiles, I took Mahindra, such that, and I basically compared what the scope 1, scope 2, scope 3 emissions, and how the stakeholders diversity and what rights do the employees of the companies have, and I basically benchmark them on those categories.
Okay, do you think ESG is more compliance or is it more of a competitive advantage for the companies?
Uh, right now, it's more of a compliance, but over the years, we'll see it as a competitive advantage since investors and even customers would want to invest in a company or would want to buy from a company that is ESG compliant.
Okay. What is your take on AI in consulting? Is it a threat or an opportunity?
AI right now is threatening the consulting world because by automating the powerhouse that is data analyzing and prediction making, also that affects the client's expectation around cost and speed. They believe since AI can do it faster, why should they spend more on larger teams? That's why the teams are also getting reduced. And traditional consulting firms are also facing threats from the firms which are offering AI based consultancy service. But at the same time, I feel like AI should be seen as an enabler rather than threat. Since it's doing the heavy lifting of data processing, it gives the consultants more time to focus on strategic thinking and problem solving. And I believe that in the future, we can see more hybrid roles like an embedded engineer who's technically fluent as well as business sound.
Okay. If I give you a situation that you do not have proper information about any problem that is given to you, that is, you have an ambiguous problem, how will you actually deal with it and take an action with limited data?
Mm. Can I get an example of the type of problem?
There's a problem. I'm giving you a problem, but I'm not giving you proper data. As you see in various IT consulting jobs, some companies do not disclose proper data to you regarding a particular problem. You
Yeah.
have to identify the gaps and then work on it. When you have limited data but an ambiguous problem, how will you actually take actions, or what will be the process of the flow of the process that you will consider while giving the solution to your client?
For that, I believe first what I will do is try to understand what needs to be solved and how this data would help in getting the solution that is needed. Since there would be gaps in the data, I would try to find other alternatives for that. Maybe through other company online, I'll find other companies' data which could match with this, and that would help me get the solution which is required. And I would also basically uh, just I would also use primary or secondary research for that within the company that for whom I'm working. But maybe by conducting FGD or just a simple Google form to get the relevant data which I need, that could also help me in my research.
Okay. What is more important, strategy or execution?
I believe strategy is more often important than execution because if you don't have the right strategy about what understanding the problem or what needs to be done and simply executing a solution just by hit and trial method, that would pass, but that would not lead to the success which was the basic requirement of the product or any solution.
Okay. Thank you. That's from my side. Navleen ma'am, you can take over.
Um, Shubh, what are the five P's of ESG?
5 P's of ESG.
Hmm.
I don't think there are 5 P's in
Okay,
ESG.
six pillars of ESG. Okay, six pillars of ESG.
Sure.
Okay, tell me any five goals of ESG.
5 goals of ESG could be waste
Any
management.
hmm.
Sorry,
in case management.
waste
Also, what are
waste management.
sustainability goals?
Sorry,
What are sustainability goals?
sustainability goals are basically managing the waste which is being made by the company, such as it could be carbon emission, it could be CO2 emission, waste management, water management. All this comes under sustainability
Do
goals.
you know what SDGs are by the United Nations? SDGs. First, tell the full form and then you can expand on them.
FDGs, I believe, sustainability development goals, which has been given by UN, basically which aims to reduce carbon emission and greenhouse effect. That's my idea about it. I'm not very sure.
Mm, well, okay. Do you think ESG compliant firms enjoy a lower cost of capital in India?
I don't think they enjoy a lower cost of uh, capital, because for them, the top 1,000 firms by SEBI have been, it's complementary for them to get ESG compliance and publish a report. So they do spend a lot on managing the waste and around this whole
Right.
sustainability
Hmm.
goals. So I don't
Okay.
think they
Is
are.
ESG a substitute for good governance? No, nahi, the answer is wrong. Is ESG a substitute for good governance or is it a proxy?
I think it's a substitute for good governance, because it manages stakeholder rights and also add diversity within the stakeholders uh, table, I would say. And also the goals which ESG, with the basic principles of ESG also says that there should be transparency within the stakeholders table as well. So I think it's better. It's not just a proxy.
Hmm. Do you think software led efficiency always reduces environmental footprint?
I don't think software-led efficiency always improves, because Chat GPT is a big example where it has environmental hazards of being used, and even the Gemini banana, which creates AI images, that also has a lot of negative impact on the environment. So yeah,
Okay. Do you think AI, now that we're on the topic, do you think AI will improve ESG credibility or it will just accelerate greenwashing?
I think it would accelerate greenwashing, since AI itself is not ESG compliant, I would say. So using
Then, what is the role of consultants like you if it's just going to increase greenwashing?
consultants like us would basically start with basic solutions about how you can start with an ESG compliance, incorporate ESG into your company. As it could be as simple as getting an ESG diploma and for your company, and making short-term goals, mid-term goals, long-term goals, and seeing where you stand within those goals, and taking basic, sorry, yeah, and taking basic measures such as being transparent about what's happening in your company, treating every employee with equality, having
Hmm.
diversity hiring.
What is BRSR?
BRSR is Business Responsibility and Sustainability Report.
Oh.
It is
And how
the
is it different from CSRD?
CSRD is I've forgotten the full form of CSRD, but yeah, CSR is basically a report uh, which is basically made by the company, which it is done voluntarily. About it just shows for the employees. Sorry, I'm getting confused. Yeah, so CSR is basically a voluntarily disclosure of how a companies are incorporating basic social and responsibility amongst its
Mhm.
employees.
Um, Tell me three key takeaways from this year's budget and give me your opinion as an ESG consultant on it.
Uh, can it be any three takeaways, or do they have to be ESG related?
Whichever, I mean, I'm asking your opinion as a ESG consultant. You should know better.
I don't think there have been any things which are related to ESG in the
Do
budget
you
this time.
know the
There,
budget has decreased when it comes to treating of waste, especially air and water pollution in this budget? Are you aware of it?
I wasn't aware of this.
Acha, give me any three key takeaways according to you from this budget, from any field.
Yeah, so they have added the MSME and startup fund has been given 2,000 crores. That
Okay.
is one takeaway. Then the second takeaway is the she marts which have been initiated by the government. That is basically women-led small retail shops, which would be run by women from the self-help groups, where they would sell their own food, snacks, or household items that they make at their home. That
Hmm.
is the second takeaway. And third takeaway is basically infrastructure development.
What
That
about infrastructure and development?
they've allocated a budget of 2.2 lakh crores for that, for railways, roads, and intercity corridors.
Okay, okay. What is the difference between repo rate and reverse repo rate?
Repo rate is basically the interest which the central bank gives to the commercial bank of the country in exchange for government securities.
What is the current rate?
6.5%.
Repo rate.
Repo rate, yeah.
Acha, and what is the reverse repo rate?
I'm not aware of that.
What is the reverse repo rate? What is market signaling? What is third degree price discrimination?
I'm
Okay,
not
who's the
aware.
chief architect of the budget, this year's budget?
Chief architect of this year's budget, I believe the finance minister, Miss Nirmala Sithar.
Your belief does not matter. I need facts.
I would
Uh,
say the
is Madagascar a country or a city?
Madagascar is a country.
Acha, okay. And what is the capital of Madagascar?
I'm not aware about it.
Okay. Who's the first lady? No, who's the second lady of US?
Usha Vance,
Mrs. Usha Vance. Okay.
Mrs. Usha Vance.
Who is the Prime Minister of Denmark? Who is the PM of Japan?
Uh, PM of Japan, I believe, is Mr. Shinzo Abe.
Okay. Over to you, sir.
Okay. According to you, what is the most misleading narrative about India's growth story? Hello, was I audible?
Yeah, yeah. Can I just take a minute
Yeah,
to
take
think
10
about?
seconds. Take 10, 20 seconds to think. You have to answer, Shob.
Yeah. So I believe the uh,
Okay, let's move on to the next question. What reform do you think sounds good but would fail in practice in India?
like from a worldwide perspective, a reform
Any
that way.
perspective, India perspective, worldwide perspective, political perspective, a state perspective. Okay, let's move to the next question. Let's suppose you're working in a company. When
Yeah.
would you choose to resign in spite of you having a very good performance in the last quarter?
When would you to? Are you giving me
When would
a
you
condition?
choose to resign despite having a strong performance in the last quarter?
I'm sorry, no, I'm not able to understand your question. I'm having,
You're working, let's suppose, in ITC, okay?
yeah,
But suddenly you have decided that you want to resign. Although you were, let's suppose, an employee of the month for the past 3 months.
yeah.
When would this situation occur
Okay,
and why?
what type of situation would occur that would make me resign?
Yes,
Yeah.
that would force you to choose to resign.
There could be reasons such as there is no work-life balance in the company. I feel like I'm working for 20 hours. I'm not able to get the rest which I want. I'm working on weekends. The environment of the company, if that's toxic for me, like my opinions are not respected, even though my solutions are being taken, but I'm not getting I'm getting the recognition that I deserve. That could be another reason.
Okay. What
Yeah.
would success look like to you if no one else was watching?
Success for me would be my personal satisfaction, that I'm happy with the job I have. um
Seriously, you will be that will be your success if job. I'm saying no one in the world is watching, it's just you. Which fact, I mean, what would success look like to you? For me, it would
yeah.
be to be a cricket player. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
So, what would it be for you?
I mean, if on that perspective, I would say I would success for me would be living on a beach side, basically having a villa just for my personal use and for my friends and families.
So, you want to become just like Jeffrey Epstein.
No, not Jeffrey Epstein. Basically,
Okay.
a quiet life, not basically a life in the city where it's loud. I just want to have a quiet life, beachside, away
Okay.
from the city. Yeah.
USA has recently asked to buy Greenland from Denmark. What are
Yeah.
the political reasons that United States has given for that decision?
Uh, One of the reason that United States has given is that during the Cold War, US helped European Union and they had set up their base in Greenland for that reason. So they believe that they should get the land because they helped them during that time.
Only that is the
Uh,
only reason?
no, that is one of the reason. Other reason
Okay.
is since Greenland is about 80% covered in ice, US believes that there could be resources for them to find out. So that's what another reason they want to buy Greenland from Denmark. Hello, hello.
I think there's a network glitch at Angatsar's side. Okay, so let's get it a little easier side questions now. Why do you think MBA is important for you?
So my background has been fairly technical. In my previous job, my work included coding and solving day-to-day technical problems. I did learn about people and team management, but I was always interested in understanding the bigger picture of business outcome rather than just execution.
How will
Uh,
IMT help you do this?
Basically, right now, I've joined a consulting firm, I have gotten exposure to problem solving, but there are still gaps which I see since most of my colleagues are MBA graduates. So there are some skills gap which I see, which for which IMT would help me basically close those gaps and cover those differences.
How will you contribute as a student at IMT? What differentiating factors will you bring on the table or in your batch to stand out?
Basically, since the example which I gave right now, I have experience of both technical as well as a consulting role. So that would help me bridge those gaps where I can bring a business solution as well as a technical solution to the table. And since I have work experience, so I believe that uh, I can basically convert those situation in the class discussion. I can convert relate basically the situation to a real life examples during class discussions.
Give me your two strengths and two weaknesses.
My two strengths, I would say, one would be adaptability. Like I said, shifting from engineering to a consulting role was not easy, but I adapt to things easily. So that is one. The other would be ownership. If I'm given one work or some work, I take full ownership and deliver the work on time. And for weakness, I would say one weakness I would say is probably public speaking. I'm not much of a public speaker, though I'm trying to work on it. It still lacks, so I believe that is one of my weakness. Second weakness, I would say procrastination. Sometime I do get lazy around work. So yeah, I'm working around that as well.
Okay. The third, you can take over.
Yeah. Sorry, there were some network issues apparently. Okay. So tell me, which company would you like to work for?
Right now, I'm thinking either a product role or a consulting role. I'm
I asked you
torn
a
between.
company, not the product role or consulting role.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Uh, then I would choose MBB would be a dream company, as one of the MBB.
Does McKinsey come to IMT? You're sitting for IMT Ghaziabad, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, yeah, McKinsey has not come. Then I would for IMT I would say Microsoft.
Sunidhi, has Microsoft come for a product role in IMT
No,
Ghaziabad?
it is not. No,
I saw it on their page.
no, not for the product role.
Okay, so
Yeah.
So you need to read up upon which company comes from which role also, right?
okay.
Yeah.
So may I just have
Yeah,
one question. Okay.
sure.
So, while answering Sunidhi ma'am's question, Shubh, you said that you would like to bridge your skill gap via an MBA at IMT, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Which are those skills that you see in your peers or colleagues that you wish to inculcate while being at IMT?
Basically, I would say solving problem in a more structured manner, uh, think creative solution or analytical thinking. Basically, I believe I'm not able to think the way they think.
And how would an
I mean,
MBA help you with that?
basically, it would tell me more about how businesses are run and the
So
type of
what the
solution.
analytical skills and what you're talking about is more on your cognitive ability rather than an professor at an MBA institute teaching you all of this, right? So tell me two skills that you would learn at IMT which you think you are missing right now when in comparison with your peers or colleagues.
Then I would say managerial skills, if that
And how
counts,
would,
because
again, how would your professor teach you that?
I mean, it's not just about professor, but even the conversation with my peers, that would also help me in help getting a more structured way to solve a problem, even as simple as a guesstimate. Just basically, uh,
Okay, so you
yeah.
can ask your questions.
So, what question were you hoping that we wouldn't ask you?
You wouldn't ask me.
Yeah.
More of a technical questions. Yeah, I would say that.
Technical, you mean soft in relating to your engineering,
Yes.
something, right? Okay. If we disagreed with every answer that you have given today,
Okay.
why should we still take you into our B school?
Um, if you disagree with each of my answer, I would say that uh, through my whole career, I have shown persistence. I have never stopped working. If I've failed, I've come up with a different solution. But giving up is something which I have not done. And even though my answers would be wrong, but the work experience which I bring from two different sectors, I believe that does give me an edge over the other candidates. So yeah, those will be my points.
Okay. Last question. Sorry. Mm. What decision of yours would you struggle most to defend publicly?
I would struggle to defend publicly.
Yes.
Uh, does it have to be work related or it could be anything?
Anything from your personal life also.
I mean, I still, I think, bi- just give me 10 seconds to think. I would say shifting from an engineering role to a consulting role, because most people, that would be hard for me to defend, because most people would say that I have wasted my engineering degree
But a
just
lot of
because
engineers actually prefer to move to consulting roles because they
yeah,
don't want
Hmm.
to continue with the technical jobs.
I would still the question. I would say I would still struggle to defend it because then people are like, you should have not done, basically not taken
So
half
are
science if you
you
weren't sure about what you want to do in your
so are you
lives.
aware that engineering is such a degree that it's infamous and people are known to pivot from core engineering to any other field? Maximum number of people in marketing and advertising have a background in engineering. So much so even stand-up comedians are engineers.
Yeah, that's true, but
So how would you have a
the
tough
question,
time defending this when your
but that's the
degree in
question that
itself is
arises.
infamous for it, for being indecisive? Three Idiots was based on the fact कि engineering नहीं करनी है, कुछ और करना है.
That's the thing, na, ki you're not clear about what you want to do. You shouldn't have taken science in
Okay,
11, 12,
Had
let's
you
end this
13.
said
interview.
slavery,
Okay,
I
done,
would
done,
have
done.
accepted it rather than this. Sorry, sir.
Okay, I'll give you a review. Then we get feedback. Okay, one misleading narrative. You, if you cannot answer the question, Ashok, you are making some faces